right, counter punch of boxing. What is going on, YouTube? It's been a couple of days. I'm a busy man. Look, here's the deal. I'll make it quick. You know, two weeks ago, I was floating down my neighborhood in a damn canoe. Okay, so, you know, things aren't exactly easy around here. But, you know, look, we're tough. Look, Texas people are tough. We're getting through it. You know, so look, my commitment is back, a video a day. You know, I know the past, like, 5 days I've only done 2 or 3. But we're going to get back into it. So, look, I wanted to kick it off with a simple topic. Okay, very basic. You know, and actually, we did like a live chat thing about a week ago talking about this. So I'm going to kind of go back to that and share some of the things that we talked about. Okay. Is Gennady Golovkin getting old? Okay, I kind of had a, like, what do you call it, like an epiphany? You know, I kind of had like this realization. It hit me. You know, sometimes, you know, it's like if it was a snake, it would have bit you, right? Like, you know, like, why didn't I think of that? It's right there in front of me, you know? So, you know, when thinking about is Golovkin getting old, right? I was in my group, and by the way, you guys come over to Counter Punch Boxing Talk Facebook group, not the like page, the group. You know, we've got there's really good boxing, you know, boxing-minded people over there. You know, some of the best out there, really. I mean, because we don't accept anybody. It's not just anybody. You know, it's you got to be a boxing fan, But look, is he getting old? And by the way, I read my comment section, and good Lord, I got them Canelo people pissed. I mean, damn, I was reading my comment section. It was like, counterpunch this and counterpunch that, and like, I'm gonna kill you, and I hope you die, and you know, and go kill yourself, and you're a dick, and you don't know shit about boxing, and you're a dumbass, and everybody else is great. You know, it's like, dude, like, it is boxing. You know, these people are, you know, I'm gonna call them passionate. They're passionate, okay? But anyway. Is Gennady Golovkin getting older? And look, I don't have fancy visuals today. You know, you guys got to give me just a minute. I'm getting back into it. Oh, and I'm on a new phone, a new microphone. So how do I sound? I don't know. But here's the realization I had, right? Obvious as hell. You know, I thought, you know, yeah, he is getting old, obviously. You know, he's up there, you know, halfway to 40. I mean, you know, by any standards, and in any book, in any setting, in any environment, that's getting old, right? Over the hill is 40. So, you know, when you think about that, of course, I mean, but I think it's like 80-20, and I put this in my group. I think that it's the level of competition. Okay, just to put it plain and simple, you know, because you know, you look back, okay, and I looked back and I thought about it, and I do not have notes, but with Macklin, Ashada, Stevens, who else, Rubio, Gill, you know, these, I mean, look, these guys, yeah, they're top 10s, most of them top 10s, mandatories, whatever. Martin Murray, Willie Monroe Jr., you know, which by the way just did pretty good with Billy Joe Saunders, and we'll get to Mr. BJS here in a minute, because that dude's getting on my damn nerves. I'll tell you right now, getting on my damn last nerve. Okay, we'll get to him. But, you know, what would Golovkin look like against those guys today? You know, ask yourself that question. And really, you know, your answer should be he would probably look the same. You know, he'd probably look just like he did back then, maybe a little bit different, but the end result would be the same. Maybe, you know, give him another round for the knockout or whatever, okay? But when you get into, you know, even like a David Lemieux, which, you know, I thought that was just like a systematic beatdown, right? I mean, that was just a beautiful performance by Golovkin, but I think he could do the same thing all over again. You know, so Lemieux chasing that rematch, you know, he needs to, you know, go talk to Oscar and get something going with Canelo, because I don't think he really wants any of Golovkin, okay? But, look, I really think it's the level of competition. You know, you look back, Jacobs. I mean, look, the number 2 middleweight in the world. Okay, in the world. All right, and not only that, I mean, he was a blown up, basically, what, 180-pound guy in there that night. So, you know, you could almost call it a mismatch. But, you know, Gennady Golovkin did what he had to do, made the adjustment, and you know, he got the win. And here's the thing, you know, it's like it's an unfair disadvantage to Gennady Golovkin. It's a double standard, whatever you want to call it. You know, the bar is set so high, yet he's a bum. You know, the bar is set incredibly high, which that still baffles me every time I think about it. But making pretty easy work of these guys. I mean, he's basically chased them all down. The last 3 guys, what has Golovkin done to these top 10 pound for pound fighters? Even in Canelo. And look, we'll get into that too. I mean, I've got so much to go over. I don't want to make the video too long. But even with Canelo, I mean, he had all these guys running. I mean, we're talking about Canelo, Jacobs, Brook. Look, Wade. I mean, the Dominic Wade fight, I mean, come on. I mean, that was his mandatory. I mean, I'm not saying that that was like anything special. I think any top 10, I mean, how in the hell that fight even happened? Really, it was a keep busy thing waiting for the Canelo fight. But, look, like, what other middleweight out there right now would basically make easy work of these guys, okay? And I'm even going to say, once Gennady Golovkin got into his groove, he made easy work of Canelo. Now, here's the thing, Canelo fans. Check this out. You got 3 minutes in a round, okay? You cannot win a round by running for 2 minutes and fighting for 30 seconds, okay? And this is what Canelo did, and if you go back and watch it, it's kind of like when you watch them, like the little magician in front of you, he pulls like a rabbit out of a hat or whatever, like the sleight of hand card. You're like, whoa, how the hell did he do that? Well, what the hell? You go back and watch it, and then you get it, and you're like, oh, I see. And that's what I saw with Canelo. You go back and watch the actual boxing match, and you can see what he was doing, okay? He was trying to steal the round at the end, trying to throw flashy combinations to just basically look good, but you can't win a round, win a fight, just fighting 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute of every 3 and then lay up on the ropes and then run, literally run for your life, I mean, the rest of the round. So, and that judge, I mean, come on, the 10-18, 110, or I'm sorry, the 118, 110, just complete garbage, Adelaide Bird. And then, and I keep bringing it up, the draw, the 114, 114, same thing, complete bullshit. So, and like I said, that judge made a mistake. And Dave Moretti was the only one that had it somewhat close, 115, 113. But the topic of the video, is Gennady Golovkin getting old? And I think, yeah, I do. I think he is getting a little bit old. But that doesn't mean he's not, not getting better, right? Or getting worse, however you want to put it. Left, right, half empty, half full, however you want to say it. He's not getting any worse, and I think he is getting better. Because here's the thing. Every time I think about that, I go back to my conversation I had with Juan Diaz. And in fact, Juan Diaz told me that Juan Manuel Marquez told him the exact same thing. And apparently, Manny Pacquiao and Marquez had discussed this too. Okay, back when they were having all their fights, that look, when a boxer gets older, maybe physically they start to deteriorate and, wear down, that kind of thing. Your bones get bigger. It's harder to make weight, that stuff. But, what you gain, the knowledge, the ring IQ, the experience, just your comfort level on that big of a stage, and which, by the way, I think Gennady Golovkin was a little bit thrown off by the big lights on, and I think for once, not for once, but as of lately, for once, Max Kellerman got it right. I do think Gennady Golovkin was a little bit, shell-shocked in the beginning, but then, quickly got comfortable. But, like I said, Juan Diaz, Marquez, even Manny Pacquiao, all said they believe they can beat the prime, the former prime version of themselves, right? So if they could go back in a little time machine and go back, whatever their prime was, for Pacquiao, what, 2009, 10, 11, 12, whatever, around that time, he believes that the current Pacquiao could beat that Pacquiao, and so do I, right? think about this. Do you think the current Gennady Golovkin could beat the Golovkin that was against Gil, Rubio, Murray? You could even go back, to maybe not Gabriel Rosado, because I think back then with like Proska and Gabriel Rosado, I think Triple G was an absolute killer back then. I don't think anybody could have touched him, but that's what I think we're witnessing. I think we're seeing a different Golovkin. We expect this knockout artist, and if he doesn't go in there and knock him out and be that knockout machine, knockout artist, then he's not living up to expectation, and somehow, that formulates into a loss. I mean, same thing. Look, one time, right? One time. You know where I'm going, Keith? One-time Thurman, right? Same exact thing. And I don't know why I didn't think about this the other day, but, whenever, he's not knocking these guys out, same thing. They call him a fraud. They call him a hype job. They call him this. They call him that. So It's kind of like how people are obsessed with that zero in boxing, the undefeated thing, So I think now the new, fan obsession is, if you're a knockout artist, you've always got to be a knockout artist. If you're a boxer, you've always got to be a boxer. So I think Golovkin has simply evolved and matured. Okay, that's what I believe. But like I said, 80-20. I think it's 80. There is 20% that he is getting older. Like I said, when you're knocking on 40's door, it doesn't matter what environment you're in, what sport you're in, what setting you're in. By any standards and any measurement, you are getting old. Okay, so, but enough of that. And one thing I want to point out, the fan rivalries, my God. I mean, look, it seems like now the biggest part of a boxing match, okay, like one of the biggest parts of a boxing match isn't really the boxing match itself, because it's the fan rivalry and the fighting before, okay? I've noticed that, it's like, a lot of these guys, like on YouTube and whatever social media, it's like they don't even really break down the fight. They don't really care about it too much. I mean, it's more of the bickering back and forth. And that's another thing. For whatever reason, now Gennady Golovkin has become that target, just like Manny Pacquiao was. So, for whatever it's worth, just I wanted to throw that in there. But look, let's look at quick punch stats. I don't want to make it too long, but look, this is a very telling thing here. Look, Canelo threw 505 punches, okay? Yeah, 500, roughly 500 punches against Gennady Golovkin. Now, remember, he threw 604 actually against Chavez. So what does that tell you? And if you also go back and look at Jacobs, Gennady Golovkin threw right around 602. Remember, I made a whole video, completely breaking it down. And actually, Gennady Golovkin was 615, landed 231. Canelo, 604, landed 228. And we're talking against Chavez. So out of 600 punches, now against Gennady Golovkin, only threw, roughly 500 punches. I mean, it's crazy. And basically Gennady Golovkin outlanded Canelo 218 to 169. So, I mean, look, I really broke down these numbers. I don't want to bore you with them, but outpunched him, outlanded him 10 out of 12 rounds. That was another thing I found out when you really look at these numbers and you know how to break them down. Gennady Golovkin outlanded Canelo 10 out of 12 rounds, okay? And look, Golovkin clearly the aggressor, throwing, and like I said, throwing almost 200 punches more, because Gennady Golovkin total threw 703 punches. So you got Gennady Golovkin throwing 700. Now, look, if you're getting old, how are you going to throw 703 punches? Now, go back, like I said, go back to even the Jacobs fight, and Golovkin only threw around, so he threw 100 punches more against Canelo. Like I said, throwing 200 more punches than Canelo. Like, what do people not understand? And people say, oh, well, Canelo, he had a better connect rate, right? His percentage. But that's bullshit. It doesn't. And I don't want to break it down. Just that's ridiculous. I mean, you cannot win a fight. Like I said, a 3-minute round, you cannot win it running around for 2.5 minutes and fighting in a flurry and then trying to steal the round at the end. You simply cannot do it. And look, they need to work on his stamina. I mean, I'm not a Canelo fan, but I even heard Bernard Hopkins talking about it. Like, they really need to do something about that stamina, because, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, for a world-class, like, elite boxer, it is absolutely terrible. I mean, it's almost like Conor McGregor, like, for real. Like, it just seems like, like I don't know, it's just terrible. So, and remember, I had a thought too, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up, but do you guys remember the very first thing Canelo said after the Islandi Lara fight? Anybody? I'm sure it's like ringing in your head, like ringing in your head right now. Do you remember? He gets up to the podium and he's like, he's saying something in Spanish, I don't know, whatever. Then the translator comes over and he's like, well, I came to fight, he came to run, and I can't, if I can't catch him, then I can't fight him. That kind of thing. Talking about Islandi Lara, right? Just something that I definitely want to throw in there. But getting back to the topic, as far as is he getting old? Yeah, he is. But like I said, I don't think it's. I think what we're calling the decline, or as Jim Lampley puts it, the deterioration from Gennady Golovkin, I really think it is a level of competition. Like I said, you put him back in there with an Adama, with a Gill, with a Rubio, Martin Moreau Jr., Lemieux, Wade, whoever, I think he would look identical, if not better, because, I mean, look, you got to go back and watch the fight. I mean, the footwork, the movement, the angles, the defense, the offense. I mean, the adjustment. Okay, all of it. Look, he's basically he's grown into a complete fighter, and he's no longer that knockout machine. Now he can be, but I think now, you know, he's a smarter fighter, you know, and there's a lot. And look, you know, these big, huge fights, I mean, there's a lot on the line, okay? There's a big difference in, you know, fighting, you know, Stevens for $1 million and then fighting Canelo, right? You know, your arch enemy, your rival, you know, in one of the biggest fights in middleweight history. It's a huge difference. So I think, you know, he fought a safe fight. Now, in a rematch, number one, I want wide open for the world to see VADA testing in a rematch. Okay, I want VADA testing. Hey, you know, and then Gabriel Garcia, good friend of the channel, brought this up in the group. He was talking about the VADA testing and how the champion, you know, should get the proper ring walk. Okay, you know, this bullshit where, you know, Canelo is the challenger, but coming out second is complete garbage. Okay, so, you know, first of all, they need to straighten that out, and really that falls on the shoulders of what's his name, K2, Tom Loeffler. Okay, and you know, they need to get that worked out in a rematch, and I think Gennady Golovkin needs to come out. Fill him out for 1 minute. Like, look, if I'm Abel Sanchez, look, Gennady Golovkin, I'm going to give you 1 minute to fill this dude out, okay? Uno momento, 1 minute. And then when that second minute hits, go after him. Be a dog. Get aggressive. That's what I would tell Gennady Golovkin. I tell him, look, don't even look. If you don't get aggressive in the second minute, don't even come back to this corner. Or, you know, seriously, I'd say some shit like that. I'd be like, you know what, you can come back to the corner, but I'm gonna sit in my chair because there's no sense in me giving you instructions if you're not gonna follow them, right? I mean, I would put it to Golovkin like that. In the second minute of round 2, go after the dude like Hagler, Hearns, go after. Look, he already knows. Look, he knows. Man, whenever Canelo landed them big shots, which there was like 8 or 9 throughout the whole fight, what did Golovkin do? You know, shook his head, smiled, kept coming forward. And that look, I mean, that iconic look on Canelo's face, like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you know, like, you're about to get your ass beat. Like, when you know you cannot hurt the guy in front of you, that look, okay? I mean, that look was all over Canelo's face. I mean, to me, he looked like a scared animal in the ring. And I'm sorry, look, Canelo fans out there, I'm being real, I'm being honest. He looked like a terrified, like someone's prey. You know, it was like predator prey. And look, go back to my original prediction video, and I said Canelo will look like prey. He'll look like food. That's exactly what I said. He's going to look like food, and that's what he looked like. So anyway, leave your comment below. I don't want to make it too long. Counterpunch Boxing, we are back. Thank you for watching. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land, and I can't wait to make another one. And actually, my next one, you know what? We're going to focus on the comment section because I got a couple of people out there I'd like to address publicly. Look, here's the thing. You know, all these guys down there in the comment section, they don't realize, you know, usually I don't come back at them, but look, I've got like 9,000 comments of people, you know, attacking me, so it's time to attack back. Counterpunch Boxing, leave your comment below.